Hey everybody, it's John.
And Teresa.
And we are here to talk about the staff handbook. But we hope that you're having a great summer.
Yeah, we do. We're envious probably of just about anything that you're doing, but hope you're having fun. And this is our first podcast this summer, so maybe we ought to go ahead and set the tone and say, please remember the purpose of these podcasts is so you do not need to sit through multiple faculty meetings or long hours going through over this information. You are 100% responsible for knowing it, so please take advantage of the opportunity for the podcast because you are held responsible for knowing this.
The nice thing about this is that you can be doing something around the house and you can just turn this on your computer, maybe plug it into some speakers and just listen to it. You don't have to look at us as long as you hear the information. However, attached to the email that this link is with will be an electronic copy of the handbook so you can follow along if you like.
Sounds good.
All right. Well,
and this is our little mascot here.
Oh yes, we do have a little creature.
So maybe his tail will move.
I hope not.
Okay.
All right.
There he is. All right, so the first thing, if you have your handbook, if not, we're still going through it. Let's start with absences. Be here. You guys have great attendance. We still owe some people a lunch during planning week because you had perfect attendance last quarter. And so that is key. Please remember your work hours are 8:30 to 4 o'clock. If you're going to be late to work because something has come up that morning, basically an emergency, please call the front office. We do keep a list. We keep a notepad because it's important that we know who's not here if we think that you are here. So at that moment, please call the office and let them know who you are and how late you're going to be and what that reason is. But please don't schedule things like schedule a workman to come to your house to work on your dishwasher at 8:30 when you know that you have to be here unless you're taking a half day. So please think about that. And if you're planning to use an appreciation pass, the late pass portion of it, make sure that is on a day when we have no meetings and your team has no meetings because it's important that you are here for all meetings. All right, Mr. T?
That's correct. Okay, if you could hold up an activity request, that's like the next thing.
We have a prop, but I gotta find it.
Okay, while she's finding that, I'm gonna say, we didn't say it at the beginning, that
here it is.
We're not going through every single item in the staff handbook. We're hitting the highlights, but you're still responsible for knowing everything in the handbook, so please do take some time to go through that. Now, we're talking about activity requests. Or most of us, at any rate, except for maybe the new people, are familiar with activity requests. Anytime you are planning an activity like a field trip, a guest speaker, a concert, field day, art show, any kind of thing like that, please fill out an activity request. And these are located in the office. There's actually some in the little paper tray thing right next to the copier in the mail room, or you can get them from Melinda in the front office. But fill those out because when you do that, that gets the activity on iCal, which everyone should be checking daily, and it lets all the people know that need to know, like maintenance or cafeteria or media or whoever. They find out about it through using the activity request.
And the different copies go to the different people that you check here at the bottom.
All right, moving on. So we're skipping over the animals and we're jumping
But we have this one right here.
Yes, we do.
And I didn't bring mine with me.
Yeah, her dogs aren't here this summer.
I know.
Yeah. So arrival and dismissal procedures. The main thing that we want to highlight, or at least that I want to highlight, is since I'm out at buses every single day, is that if you are supervising students at bus dismissal, in other words, you're a teacher that's walking kids out to buses, please make sure that you walk the kids all the way to the bus that they're supposed to get on. That way, you know, and if we need to know, you can tell us that that kid actually did get on a bus. Because you know how it is. Sometimes the kid gets on the bus and then we get a radio call from car riders saying, hey, we need that kid at car riders. And then so we go to the bus and then they're not there. We don't know where they are, and maybe you do. So at any rate, please walk the students all the way to the bus and make sure that they get on.
And that means around the loop.
All the way around the loop, even if it's the last bus.
Not just to the bus, but everyone walks all the way around.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, moving on.
Attendance and tardies, please make sure that you mark your attendance in eSembler by 10:30 every morning. That is key. Jules, our data entry, needs it by 10:30. Birthdays, as you know, but we want to remind you, we do celebrate teachers' birthdays, but we also celebrate student birthdays. What we're asking, nothing has changed, but what we're reinforcing is that you don't invite parents to come in at the end of the day to celebrate. That has happened with a couple of you, and then we're put in the position where we have to tell the parent, the teacher should not have given you that invitation to come in, because we're telling you no, that's not what we allow. So please make sure that if your parents of your kids want to send in anything for a birthday, of course it's store-bought or cafeteria purchased, but they just drop it off, that they don't come in with it and celebrate with you at the end of the day. Budget procedures, Pam did not want to come on, but we just wanted to remind you that any supplies purchased by you without prior approval from us on a PO means that those will become your items permanently and you don't get a refund. So please make sure before you go out and you purchase something that you have prior approval on a PO, and that PO is signed. That way you can be reimbursed. That's super important.
All right, moving down to cafeteria procedures. It's very important that you're on time to the cafeteria so that your class gets their full time, and not only that, so you get your full time for lunch as well. So please make sure that you're on time with your class every day to drop off the kids, and then also that you pick them up on time so that the people doing lunch duty can get back to their other responsibilities as well. Also, before you drop the kids off, please make sure that they've had a chance to use the restroom before they come into the lunchroom. That way it heads off a lot of kids, needing to go while they're in there.
Child abuse, all we're going to say on that, because we are sure that Sarah Keesbay, our guidance counselor, will be speaking on that. But please remember, if you suspect abuse or neglect, please seek Sarah out or seek us out to dialogue about, and we can help walk you through that if we agree as a team that that is a concern and something that should be reported or noted at the very least. Children of staff members. Many of you have your own children here, and we're thrilled that they're here, but we do want to remind you that when you are here, it is work time. Your own personal children need to remain in your room, in your classroom, not in the pod, not running around the pod, definitely not outside, because we want to keep the time professional and we want to keep the time confidential. So you have to think about, if you're having a parent conference, where's your own personal child? That's when you might want to make an arrangement for your child to be next door with the teacher. But we don't want the children running around and playing games in the pod and then distracting and disturbing your teammates, and then that can cause some issues that aren't really necessary. So please make sure that your own personal children are in your classroom before and after school, and they're not running the building, running the pod, running errands, or going into places where the kids are not supposed to go, like the mail room and the work room and the lounge. Mm-hmm. Those are three places where we either have hot things or confidential things or harmful things like paper cutters. So important. Just keep that in mind, if you will, please.
You said something in there. You said the words, your own personal child. And when you said that, it made me think that would be a good name for a band.
Your own personal child?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just sounds like a band name. Your own personal child. Hey, your own personal child is playing tonight at the Forum.
Oh, gee.
Anyway.
That's lame.
No, it's not funny. I mean, it's...
You're right, it's not funny.
I just thought it would be a good name for a band. All right, anyway, so... clinic.
Tom Clark, remember that. Now we'll see if Tom Clark watches this.
That's right. Clinic student injuries. So that's where we are now. The main thing is that always send a child to the clinic with a clinic pass. That's we use the clinic pass so that Sonia, or whoever's in the clinic, can use that information on the pass to input it into her electronic system, her database.
And one other thing on that page, not that subject, but you skipped over, I didn't, and that is the classroom,
I didn't highlight this, sorry.
Classroom and facility appearance. As you know, your classroom, when you come back, is clean. It's beautiful. It's kept that way by our custodians. It's important that it stays that way. Just for the kids, for your own sanity, but also for the kids, so there aren't so many distractions and so much stimuli that they are easily distracted. So if you tend to be a pack rat, I won't say names, I won't even say initials. Cam. Please keep that in mind. He's nice.
All right. Confidential information. Please remember that the information that you have about students, about their progress, about every facet of their education is confidential. So be careful when you talk about that with other staff members, that there aren't volunteers or parents or anyone around. Also, when you're off duty, just be careful with what you talk about and with who you're speaking.
And where you are.
And where you are.
Because I always tell that story, I'm not going to tell it now.
Where you're in a restaurant?
Yeah, where my husband was in a restaurant. And he heard all kinds of stories from people because it was lunchtime and that's where a lot of people were.
All right.
He came back and told me a lot of stories.
Crisis intervention plan. So we all know where the crisis intervention plan is. It's in the little plastic container thing. I think Teresa's going to get the one from this room. It's in the plastic container thing by your door. Please make sure that that's always in there. And then there's a little blurb in the handbook about during lockdown drills, please ensure that you have your key to lock the interior storage room doors. And there's the plastic thing with the plan in it. Please make sure that that key for the interior storage room doors is kept in a location not on your own person or not on your key ring, but it's kept somewhere where it's handy just in case you're not there, that a substitute would know where it is. And that should also be part of your sub-plans, and your team should all know where, like they should all keep it in a similar location.
And John, you know what else is important is that this does not become a catch-all for everything, because I know that when I walk through classrooms and I see stuff in here that doesn't belong in here, I throw it away.
Sure enough.
So, what goes in here? The crisis plan. Your spiral crisis plan, along with your all safe and secure classroom sign. Now, those of you who are in pods, individual classrooms don't need this, but the pod door does need it. Mm-hmm. And, so that's two things. The evacuation map in case we have to evacuate, fire drills. So that's three things. And then two more things. This sheet are the instructions, or is the instructions for a missing child. So if all of a sudden we realize that we seriously do have a missing child and we're not finding that child, and before we start panicking, here is the game plan for that, the procedures, and then here is the map for missing children, or a missing child, meaning this is where key personnel go out to help look for that child to make sure we're covering the ground.
And the directions are on that other yellow sheet.
So there is a total of 5 things that go in here.
And please if you're not already, please familiarize yourself with those things.
Please.
All right, moving on. Next, we're on page 10, daily schedule. Please make sure that you turn in your individual daily schedule to myself and Melinda in the front office by Friday, August 22nd. Some teams do a team's schedule, and that's fine as long as you're all doing that exact same schedule. So that would be fine.
And that would include special. So if you have a split class, the office needs to know where all your kids
where they go.
So that might...
Like, these kids go with this class for specials, and this class, they need to know that.
Right.
All right, discipline. You want to talk about that one?
Sure. First of all, we want to say thank you and compliment our staff. It's something that I say many, many times to outsiders, that I personally think that the main reason why we don't have many referrals here at all is not because we don't want you to write them, but is because you handle the problems in your classroom and you stop them the minute they occur.
Yep.
Once you let disciplines get out of hand, then you notify the parents, or we notify the parents, and they're like, why didn't I know this earlier? But you all do a fantastic job of nipping those behaviors in the bud and immediately contacting parents, and I really think and believe that that's why we don't have the number of discipline issues school-wide that a lot do. We totally empower you guys and appreciate the job that you do with that. Just please remember that students must be supervised at all times, so you're not leaving the room unless you have another teacher covering your classroom. And please remember to send the students to the office as a last resort. And there are times when you have to, or other situations trump that.
All right, you want to talk about dress code?
Dress code. Fridays, those of you who are new may not be aware that every Friday around Odessa is Spirit Day. You may wear jeans, appropriate jeans, not like, oh, holy jeans. At any rate, with your Odessa collared shirt. Look at
Looks
you!
like this.
What a role model you are.
It's royal blue.
It's royal blue, it's the Odessa shirt, and it's collared. You cannot wear just a royal blue collared shirt on Fridays. It must be the Odessa shirt. So we are sticklers about that, but every Friday, you can wear jeans with these.
And you'll have opportunity, if you don't have one yet, you'll have opportunity to purchase these during planning week.
And we are mailing out the welcome back letters and the plans for planning week today and tomorrow. So
today is Wednesday, July 16th.
So they'll probably go out tomorrow, which means depending on courier, it might not be until Monday or Tuesday. Just to let you know.
All right, so moving on to electronic communication. Just please check your email and iCal daily, at least once, and I'm sure many of you check it way more than that.
Field trips. Please remember that field trips should be planned at the very beginning of the school year. And as you fill out all of the paperwork for a field trip, and that's something that you do with Pam, our bookkeeper, you must also fill out an activity request also. That's extremely important. But we are asking teams to sit down at the beginning of the year and decide what field trips are truly appropriate for the curriculum that you're teaching. Not where you want to go and making it fit, but what field trips are truly going to support what is a grade level focus, and is it worth the money that it's going to cost. And so we will ask at the very beginning of the year what those field trips are for each grade level, so we can dialogue about those.